Not the baby.
The new
next
flag.
one was very
New
realistic.
flag.
There's some that definitely look more realistic than that. This one.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Oh no, that one's face looks real.
It says was sewn and by Betsy Ross.
The next
No,
one.
that one's face looks
I
real.
thought
Look how
I thought there was something with that might not have
look how
been accurate
real that
actually.
one looks.
I don't think that these two look very real.
Next one.
No, I don't think that these guys look as much.
I think this
Oh,
one.
this is the.
Like,
Oh, you all realize it.
what does it say, Brennan? Can you read it? Or Ethan?
Yeah, let's have you read it.
Adams and Thomas Jefferson. This for the second and third president.
What does it say?
Yeah, but read it.
Of the 5 original drafters of the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia during the summer of 1776, 2 future presidents or President Ben Franklin made a point of John Adams and Thomas Jefferson
To point to him. Yep.
seated while Roger Sherman and Robert R. Livingstone looked on.
Livingston. Yes.
Look at how real.
This is.
Like I'm waiting for them to move.
Huh?
Is their hair real? Ooh, it's a party.
Is that real stuff you can make?
No. Can you read this one to us, Brennan or Ethan?
The fourth and fifth president.
Yeah, why don't you
Mr.
read
John
this?
Quincy Adams attended a White House representative with
Reception.
President and Mrs. James Monroe, President James Madison and his wife Dolly. James Madison.
So it's James Madison,
And James Monroe.
his wife Dolly.
That's just me. I just saw.
You can always tell James Madison he's the shortest one.
Who's James Madison?
Right here. He's the shortest president.
Where?
Right over there, the one that
By the
says
pen.
that's number 10.
Henry Clay.
James Madison.
Henry Clay was the Secretary of State, and he wasn't ever president. But this guy right here,
Elizabeth.
Henry Clay, what he's kind of why John Quincy Adams became president and Andrew Jackson didn't. So they really,
Has this actually happened? Like
Who's,
they had a
this in the, who's that in the back? I can't see this. Is that James Monroe?
President James Monroe, 5th president of the United States.
Dolly Madison.
Yep.
Whoa.
John C. Calhoun, huh?
So you order faster.
Oh.
No,
$50.
we paid $50. We're going to
Wait, 50?
50. Yes.
Alright, who are these, Ethan?
There are a lot of people.
From left to right, we've got Millard Fillmore. He was unlucky, number 13. We have Andrew Johnson, which is actually the 17th president of the United States. Chester Arthur, the 21st president. Next, and John Tyler. You know what they called him? They called him his accidency. His accidency.
Oh, this one now.
And
Are those real? Is that a real page? Like Bible? Could you read that?
That's real
Can you read it to me? I don't.
After the resignation of Spiro Agnew, who's that?
he was the vice president by Nixon. Yeah.
So then Gerald Ford became vice president.
Yeah. He's the only president that was never elected.
But he resigned
Is-
from office.
is
Oh,
that-
Nixon.
Nixon did, yep.
Is he wanting him to shine his boot, or did he already draw his sword and do the cut on his face?
He already has the cut. When he was cut when
How
his
did he
fate,
get cut?
he got. Do you remember how he got cut, Ethan?
Nope. But yeah, because he was posting the shoe, and then he said no. and
They
then
asked
he
him
put-
to polish his
And then he
shoe.
put his hand up, so he has a star on his hand, and
That was back in the French and Indian War. This is before.
this is Abraham Lincoln. Where's Abraham Lincoln? Right there.
Here was the president. You guys look here first. This guy here,
Oh, I
no-
didn't even see this.
William Henry Harrison. He was. They called him Granny Harrison when he was president. Why do you think that was?
Because he's what's old.
Because he was the oldest president at the time, and he was
How old was he?
he was young. I forget. Let me look here.
Oh, here. No, it doesn't say what he was.
No, that he was the president for the least amount of time.
Wait, if you went in there, Mommy, are those real rocks? Like, is that a real paper? Is there anything like that?
Everything is real. Isn't people.
Yeah, I feel like there's just gonna be this huge prank, and then one of them.
I know. I was thinking the same thing, Ethan. How funny that would be to.
This is the Douglas debates. This was famous. But he lost this.
What?
Yep, he ran against him for senator of Illinois and he lost.
Who did?
Yeah, that. See what that direct's really realistic.
That's a very famous saying. 7 debates, huh? Wow, 20,000.
Whoa, is that a real sword?
That's a gun.
Ooh, this is a very famous picture.
Bring it.
So what happened here, this is a very
that's
famous
good,
picture.
that's
So what you have is during the Civil War, the people on the left is what the North wore. What the people on the right wore, which we call the Confederates, the Confederacy, wore that. The most famous general, you see the most famous generals right here. The guy on the left became president of the United States, General Ulysses S. Grant. Nope. This guy
Guy
here.
in the middle.
This guy. And then this guy here,
Is everybody that you see dead?
yes, General,
And this in this spot, yes.
yes. And the thing about Robert E. Lee is this is when these two came in at the end of the war, everyone I think stood up and got goosebumps on themselves because these two were the generals of the opposing sides, and they had never seen each other, and so this was like a huge, monumental meeting up between these two.
Why does he have a gun though?
This was the end of the Civil War. This is what happened to end the Civil War. These two guys sat down. Abraham Lincoln directed General Grant to come, and the leader of the Confederacy, which actually was not General Lee, but he was sent there by the president of the Confederacy.
What is this? Yeah.
Wait,
What is this?
What's that? Native Americans. We can't.
Pierce and then.
Yes, Franklin Pierce. He was. These two. A lot of these guys rank some of the bottom of the presidency of the least popular presidents.
Do they have all the presidents here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I scared them like half to death. She was looking at them. And then
All right. Major Marcus Reno, General Alfred Howe Terry, and Colonel George Armstrong Custer and Captain Benteen leave their command post and head for Little Bighorn River. Custer, whom the Indians called Yellow Hair, will be the only one who will not return. They called it Custer's Last Stand.
What do you mean? Did he die or something?
Yes, he was killed. And so over here,
On purpose? Did he try,
no,
Like asked to be killed?
no. So, Sioux Indian chiefs, Gall, Crazy Horse, Rain in the Face, Sitting Bull hold a council of war to meet Colonel Custer's long knives at Little Bighorn.
What was that noise?
That was me.
Is that a real one?
This is the inventor right here, Alexander Graham Bell. Over here to the left, you guys, over here, is what the president, or not president, yes, it's not only what the first phone looked like, but this is what the guy looked like that made the first phone, Alexander Graham Bell.
Is that actually like real accurate?
Yeah, that's what,
That's what the phone looked like.
Did you have it?
No, I didn't have it.
What, did you have normal phones?
Well, not normal phones of what you think of.
but,
Creepy.
It says
That
China.
person's just staring at me.
Was it not? Is there
It's a
No,
phonograph.
that one.
what?
Lion.
It's a phonograph.
a boy?
Yeah.
This is the only president over here that ever got married in the White House. He got married to what her name is, Frances Folsom.
It says
And no one thought that he was. No one ever thought Grover Cleveland would get married, but he did. They called him Grover the Good. He's the only president that ever served 2 times, but not back to back.
So he didn't. Did he run in the 23rd? For the 23rd president?
Yes,
And he didn't win, so he ran again for 24th.
correct.
Who was 23?
Benjamin Harrison, the guy over.
Including all of this.
And then what they told him, look back.
Is that
This is one of the most famous guys right here. Theodore Roosevelt, 26th president. One of the guys on Mount Rushmore.
Could he walk normally?
Yeah.
How did he die?
Are you thinking of FDR?
Yeah, you're thinking of FDR. We'll get to FDR here. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was his like distant cousin. They were distant cousins, like fifth cousins.
That's another tough one. That's tough one that
McKinley was
JJ had.
assassinated in
This
office.
is that?
What's that?
That's a tough one that
McKinley was assassinated while he was in office.
Yeah, William McKinley became assassinated. And actually, here's something interesting, guys. Come here a
Is
second.
he the only one?
What was your question? Roosevelt? One interesting thing about him, Theodore Roosevelt was actually shot as well. But he had, what's cool about Theodore Roosevelt, see those glasses he had on?
Yeah.
He had his glasses off, or he had his glasses case in his pocket.
Oh yeah,
And he had a
then-
big speech and also in his pocket. And
when
a
they
gunman
shot
shot, and it went through all of those things, and it actually went into his chest, but it didn't go in very far. And he actually went and continued and did his speech after he was shot. And then
Did
he,
he say ow?
I'm sure he said ow.
These must be the.
This is one of the people that was assassinated, James Garfield. And James Garfield was assassinated
He was
because
assassinated?
he a person wanted a job, and
Maybe that's just what the-
something like that. William McKinley.
You missed one. I know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you guys look at Taft.
Behind it.
In the back.
You guys missed Taft right here.
No, I didn't.
William Howard Taft.
Oh,
The story is that he got stuck in the bath, but we don't actually know if that really happened. But
What happened?
he did have his own bathtub installed that was bigger, but we don't know if he really got stuck. I mean, he might have because of the story.
What's the picture behind him?
It is the Supreme Court. This says is that the court system is supposed to be blind. In other words,
Oh,
they should weigh it as on the measure of facts, and it shouldn't matter if he's a Republican or Democrat or whatever. And Taft is the only one that has ever been chief
What is this?
president and justice on the U.S. Supreme Court.
Is it like better or worse?
Okay, on the left, this is called Mikhail Gorbachev. And this is the leader of Russia, the president of Russia at the time. And in the back, you can see what's called the Kremlin. The Kremlin is kind of like the White House of the country of Russia.
Is that
And to the right is Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was our 40th president. And this is a meeting with Mikhail Gorbachev. And the most famous, I would say probably the most famous saying ever is from Ronald Reagan was, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall, tear down this wall. And that was there was a wall separating two countries, Germany. It was just a wall that he put there.
He's like,
I know.
Yeah, it's maybe not the best,
That one.
maybe not the best pictures of him.
oh, it's like he's laughing. No, not
He's
that.
creepy.
Him.
Yeah.
What about what happened to his bloody face?
Oh, it's not a bloody face. It's just a birthmark. Okay.
Yeah, because it's also.
Did it actually? What is it?
It just means he was born with that. Okay. And actually, what's interesting here is on the right side, that's Woodrow Wilson. He was the 28th president. And what's interesting is the only reason
Why did
he
they
became
white
president, they had
Oh,
white hair. The reason he became president is because Teddy Roosevelt wanted to run again, and he ran against Taft, which you just looked at. And because most people had to decide between Taft and most people, the same people that liked the same stuff, chose between Taft and Teddy. And he was also running. And so that's how he became president. But he was president during World War One.
Why does this
What's that?
left to right? It is. Does that look?
Mount Rushmore, guys. Just 8 days after his
Just sit there and wait.
famous do not choose to run speech while on a vacation in South Dakota, President Calvin Coolidge dedicated Mount Rushmore National Memorial. You can see other people like Senator Norbeck, Gutzon Borglum, the sculptor, and John Boland.
But these are
So-
the four main people.
Yes, Calvin Coolidge. They called him Silent Cal.
So that's what it looked like before.
Now,
And a lot of it. And
look at this.
You saw that.
This is the biggest terrorist attack in American history, when bad guys attack the United States and they're not really part of a country, so it's not really a war. Those towers over there in the picture, those were attacked by airplanes, and the airplanes came crashing down.
Towers.
The Twin Towers.
Is it a true story that someone tried to walk across it with oh yeah, it is.
A tightrope, but
Yeah.
that's a different thing. These guys,
Well, why was a fighter in
That
there?
was when they were standing.
there were firefighters that came to do the rescue, but when the planes hit the towers collapsed, and a lot of firefighters lost their lives.
Well, what about him?
It's called two towers. The country.
Over here, Winston Churchill of England on the left here, and on the right this is the Conference of Yalta. Geez, Brennan.
Was that
And
too far?
this is FDR, the 32nd president. Only president to serve 4 terms.
Oh my gosh, I smell it.
Doesn't it smell good?
No.
Oh my gosh, Brennan. All right, which president is this?
Harry.
What is the goal?
Why don't you read that?
Harry Potter.
Read who it is.
Harry
The girl
S.
will tell you. This is Eleanor
Harry
Roosevelt.
Truman.
Mm-hmm. This is FDR's wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, one of the most influential first ladies in history.